Chapter 61. After chatting with Yu Zhang for a long time, Yi Tian finally understood a little about the situation of the Demon Sea base. But what Yu Zhang said was just something very common, and as for the more secret information, he didn't mention it at all. Before leaving, Pavilion Master Yu, I wonder if you know Yu Ling? Yi Tian suddenly asked. Yu Zhang's surname is Yu, and Yu Ling's surname is Yu. Plus, both of them are from Wuge, so maybe there's some relationship between the two. He was just curious, so he asked casually. Yu Ling and I both belong to the Yu family. The Yu family is one of the three major families of the Martial Pavilion and is in charge of 1/3 of the Martial Pavilion. However, I am only a member of the branch of the Yu family, and Yu Ling is the young lady of the main line. Her background is very deep, and her status is far higher than mine. Yu Zhang said. Sure enough, Yi Tian knew that his guess was right. Yu Ling's identity was really not simple. Even Yu Zhang's identity was far inferior to Yu Ling's. It could be seen that Yu Ling's status was high, and it was no wonder that there were great martial arts servants following her. Although that great martial artist isn't very strong, it's amazing to be able to arrange a great martial artist to be an elite martial artist servant. In the Linhai base, the great martial artist is highly respected. Who would be a servant to an elite martial artist? Only a big family like the Yu family would do this. Pavilion Master Yu, in a month, I'll bother you again. Yi Tian said goodbye. Back at home, Yi Tian began to think about the next arrangement. From Yu Zhang's mouth, he learned that the gold card and coins of the Linhai base can be exchanged for money in the Magic Sea Bank of the Magic Sea base. This is because the banks of the two places are the same and can be exchanged for each other, but the exchange ratio is only 2-to-1. In other words, 2 yuan of the Linhai base can be exchanged for 1 yuan of the Demon Sea base. This kind of exchange seems to be a loss, but in fact, it's not a loss at all, because many things that are more precious in the Linhai base may be cheaper in the Demon Sea base. The prices are simply different. There is still a month to leave the Linhai base, and some things should be disposed of, otherwise it will be a waste to stay in the Linhai base. Yi Tian thought. Among them, the first thing to deal with was those mid-level fierce beast blood, which was originally reserved for Yi Yu's cultivation. But there was only 1 month left, and Yi Yu alone couldn't use it all. So, Yi Tian gave 1,000 pieces of mid-level fierce beast blood to the Wind Wolf hunting team. This was given to them for free. After all, Wind Wolf wasn't bad, and he was also his friend. As for the other mid-level fierce beast blood, Yi Tian sold most of it to Wu Zhe, and sold it for a total of 1 billion yuan. 1 billion seems like a lot, but it's just a small amount of money for a martial artist like Yi Tian. In addition to the blood of the fierce beast, a large number of medicinal materials stored by Yi Tian were also sold one by one, and a total of 400 million were sold. The villa he lives in now, Yi Tian has not sold it. Maybe he will come back one day to take a look, and at least there will be a place to settle down at that time. For a month, Yi Tian basically didn't go out to hunt fierce beasts, but focused on cultivation, only increasing his strength to 230,000 caddies. It takes a month to increase strength by 30,000 caddies, which is already very fast. According to this speed, the strength of 360,000 caddies can be increased in a year. Although the speed of increasing his strength will weaken in the late stage of cultivation, Yi Tian can hope to be able to reach the limit level of a great martial artist of 1 million jin within 3 years, and then step into the realm of Grandmaster in one fell swoop. Achieving a Grandmaster in 3 years is enough to make countless martial artists envious. After all, they have no hope of being promoted to the Grandmaster level in their lifetime. Besides, this is just a top-level cultivation talent. I don't believe that the Demon Sea Great Base doesn't have a higher-level cultivation talent. If I copy a higher-level talent, the time to become a Grandmaster will be shortened a lot. Copying a higher-level cultivation talent, this was also one of the reasons why Yi Tian was in a hurry to go to the Demon Sea Great Base. If he had stayed in the Linhai base, he would not have had a chance to copy the higher-level cultivation talent at all, because cultivation talent belonged to human beings, and only humans had cultivation talents. The bloodline talent on the fierce beast was not suitable for him. Sister, let's go, Yi Tian said to Yi Yu, who was packing up his things. The things that Yi Yu packed were all her small belongings, which were of little value, but they were very nostalgic. If she couldn't bring too much, otherwise she would even want to take everything at home with her. Yi Yu packed 3 big bags and hung them all on Xiaojun's body. Immediately, Yi Tian and Yi Yu left the Central Garden community by Xiaojun and came to the north gate of the Linhai base. At this time, Yu Zhang was waiting at the north gate. When Yi Tian came to the north gate, he not only saw Yu Zhang, but also 7 or 8 martial artists. Lin Wanli, Grandmaster Old Man Li, and several other great martial artists are all well-known big names in the Linhai base. They should also go to the Demon Sea base, but the purpose is definitely different from mine. Yi Tian guessed. He went to the Demon Sea base to settle down. Lin Wanli and the others definitely couldn't give up everything in the Linhai base, because it was difficult for them to have room for improvement, and they couldn't improve their strength if they went to the Demon Sea base. So, it was better to stay in the Linhai base. At least in the Linhai base, they are big shots. If they go to the Demon Sea base, except for the old man of the sect Master Li, everyone else has to hold their tails and be people, and they are not comfortable at all. Sect Master Yi, Lin Wanli and the others saw Yi Tian and greeted them one by one. Sect Master Yi, are you leaving the Linhai base and not coming back? Old Man Li looked at the few big bags on Xiaojun's body and asked curiously. Well, I'm going to settle down in the Demon Sea base. Maybe I'll come back when I have time. Yi Tian replied casually. When Old Man Li heard this, he was immediately overjoyed. As soon as Yi Tian left, no one in the Linhai base could suppress him. He was the only Grandmaster in the Linhai base, and he was also the first powerhouse. And if Yi Tian is there, he is always very aggrieved and does not dare to be arrogant at all. Therefore, if Yi Tian leaves, he is the most excited one. Of course, in front of Yi Tian, he didn't dare to show that he was too excited, so he could only suppress the joy in his heart in the depths of his heart. After waiting for about an hour, Yi Tian finally saw a caravan coming. Boom, boom, boom. The ground began to shake, and huge beasts came dragging a large amount of goods. The caravan is coming, Yu said in a loud voice. It was not the first time that Lin Wanli and the others had seen this caravan, so they were not surprised at all. But Yi Tian and Yi Yu stared at the caravan in the distance very curiously. To use such a huge beast as a caravan mount to transport goods. Yi Tian finally realized the strength of the martial pavilion at this moment, which was definitely not comparable to ordinary forces. Chapter 62. The caravan arrived at the north gate, and Yu Zhang stepped forward to discuss the handover of goods with one of the caravan's great warriors. These goods are transported from the large base and then to the coastal base to be sold, exchanged for various other resources. These resources are lacking in the large base, such as some medicinal materials, specific beast materials, etc. In return, the large base can provide many healing medicines, yuan soldiers, and other finished goods. The exchange of goods between the two bases is beneficial to both sides, and Wu Zhe is also able to make a lot of profits from it. Yu Zhang sent someone to handle the goods, and this process took an hour or two. Old Man Li and the others knew that they would have to wait a lot of time, so they closed their eyes and rested one by one. Meanwhile, Yi Tian looked at those huge fierce beasts curiously. These beasts are the same kind, similar to elephants, but several times larger, and have thick scale armor. The fierce beasts were not very far away from Yi Tian, and Yi Tian could naturally easily see their talents. Species: brute force elephant. Bloodline talent: medium. Defense talent: elementary. Strength talents: elementary. Talented. Yi Tian was surprised. This brute force armor elephant actually has 2 special talents. Although they are only elementary talents, they should also be good among fierce beasts. The only pity is that their bloodline talent is only medium, and it's destined that they won't be able to become powerful fierce beasts. Although they are medium, from the perspective of their breath, they have all grown to the extreme, reaching the level of high-level fierce beasts. With the blessing of defense talent and strength talent, they should be of medium strength among high-level fierce beasts. Yi Tian judged. The brute force armor elephant has a huge body. Its strength is not high, but it's not low either. It's estimated that it's also very well domesticated, and it's indeed suitable for pulling goods and transportation. An hour and a half passed. Yu Zhang and the caravan's goods were basically handed over, and the caravan was ready to return to the Demon Sea base. If you want to come back this time, you can either wait a year or leave the Demon Sea base directly. It's more difficult to enter the Demon Sea base, but it's easier to leave. Lin Wanli and the others are preparing to stay in the Demon Sea base for a month or two, buy the items they need, and then return to the Linhai base. As long as they are careful, the possibility of encountering danger is not too great. If you follow the caravan, it's 10 million yuan per person, free entry certificate. A great martial artist from the caravan walked up to Yi Tian and the others and said, "Give." Lin Wanli took out 10 gold cards and handed them to the caravan warrior. Although Old Man Li is a grandmaster, he can't break the rules. He's just an ordinary little grandmaster, and he can't break the rules of the martial pavilion. There's also a grandmaster in the caravan, but he just stayed in a car pulled by a brute force armor elephant and didn't get down. Therefore, Old Man Li didn't dare not give money. You need to pay 30 million yuan, and the beast pet has to pay too. The caravan warrior pointed to the small golden road. 30 million yuan was just a small number for Yi Tian. He paid it directly, and he didn't argue with the caravan. Soon, the caravan left. Old Man Li and the others are not qualified to sit on the brute force armor elephant, so they can only run along. Meanwhile, Yi Tian and Yi Yu are more comfortable, sitting on Xiao Jin's back. It's not bumpy at all. It's extremely comfortable. The brute force armor elephant didn't run fast, but ran at a speed of 100 meters per second, which is indeed very slow. But there's no way. This is the wild, and there are countless fierce beasts between the Linhai base and the Demon Sea base, and this line has not yet been opened. If you run too fast, the cargo is easy to fly, not to mention, it's easy to hit other fierce beasts, and then it will be big trouble. At the speed of a brute force elephant, the distance of 3,000 kilometers is about 8 or 9 hours, which is not a long time. Along the way, Yi Tian found a lot of fierce beasts. But most of the fierce beasts felt the breath of the brute force armor elephant and ran away. After all, the deterrent power of a group of high-level fierce beasts was still very strong, and ordinary fierce beasts did not dare to approach the caravan. The caravan is not afraid of high-level fierce beasts, but it is worried about the appearance of top-level fierce beasts. However, the possibility of encountering top-level fierce beasts is not very great, because the route taken by the caravan is a relatively safe route, bypassing the territory of many top-level fierce beasts. As long as it's not too unlucky, basically nothing will happen. 9 hours passed. Yi Tian sat on Xiao Jin's back, looking into the distance, and with his super good eyesight, he soon saw an incomparably huge city. The city is not known how many times larger than the Linhai base, but it's not protected by a city wall. Only a faint light curtain covers the entire city. Demon Sea base, Yi Tian muttered. Compared with the Magic Sea base, the Linhai base is undoubtedly a backward small place. The two are like the difference between a modern city and an ancient city. What made Yi Tian even more curious was undoubtedly the huge light curtain that covered the entire Demon Sea base. It was said that this was a formation, but he didn't know how it was built. A minute later, "It's here," the leader of the caravan, the warrior, said loudly. "Leave with your entry credentials." The great warrior who led the team gave Yi Tian a paper voucher and sent Yi Tian away. There are many entrances to the Demon Sea base, and these entrances are not covered by light curtains, so you can walk in, but you need a voucher or a Yuanli identity card. Otherwise, if you're found to have trespassed on the Demon Sea base, even a Grand Master will have to die. Yi Tian took the 3 vouchers, passed through the entrance, entered the Demon Sea base, and immediately separated from Old Man Li and the others. Old Man Li and the others obviously have their own things to do, and after he and Old Man Li and the others are separated, there may be no intersection in the future, so naturally there's no need to stay together. The streets of the Demon Sea base are very wide. Even if Xiao Jin walks on the street, it won't look too big. This is because the Demon Sea base was deliberately built this way, for the sake of fierce beast pets. Yi Tian asked some people, and finally found a place to handle the identity of a resident of the Demon Sea base, the Devil's Sea Resident Bureau. Standing in front of the skyscraper where the Demon Sea Residence Bureau was located, Yi Tian suddenly had a feeling of returning to his previous life. In fact, this feeling was felt when he came to the Demon Sea base. After all, the Demon Sea base is too similar to a modern city in his previous life. However, the power here is composed of Yuan Li, and the breath of Yuan force is everywhere. The Yuan force of the entire base is much richer than that of the Linhai base. Cultivating in such an environment, The cultivation speed is definitely much better than that of the Lin High base. Just as Yi was about to enter the Demon Sea Resident Bureau, a martial artist wearing a security guard costume stopped Yi. "Friend, your beast can't go inside." Yi looked at the martial artist in front of him, then at the gate of the Demon Sea Residential Bureau, and then compared Xiao Jin's size. He had no choice but to leave Xiao Jin outside. If Xiao Jin forced it in, he was afraid it would cause some damage. "Xiao Jin, you wait for me outside. I'll come out soon when I go in," Yi admonished. "Master, hurry up and come out." Kim was a little scared and nervous. There are too many humans around here, and they are all very powerful humans. It has even sensed a lot of humans who are much stronger than it, and they are in this Demon Sea Resident Bureau. As a ferocious beast, it feels too much pressure to stay here. If Yi was there, it was not afraid, but as soon as Yi left, it was worried about its own safety.